Late night in the kitchen, cold coffee, porch light hums. You said, laugh if you wanna, but I know what I saw, son. Something tall at the tree line, breathe like rust and rain, eyes like backed up headlights, then it slipped away again. Are they monsters? Are they memories? Old campfire fears we never outgrew. Are they footprints in our family story or some wild truth we barely know? Bigfoot in the branches, Mothman in the power lines roll. I don't know what they are, but I know we're needing something. Truck stop off the highway. She swears across her path. Shaggy shape in the brake lights. Long arms hanging back. Dog face in the rear view. Red shine in the glass. She still locks up the windows. Welcome in, Sasquatch Wednesdays. I don't know what they are, but I know we're reaching for something more. Maybe it's the wild we buried under parking lots and plans. Maybe it's the fear we carry, giving teeth and giving hands. Or maybe in the black between the pines, something breathes and watches back sometimes. Are they warnings? Are they guardians? Old folklore knocking at the door. Are they just the way our minds make meaning when the woods feel like a different world? They could be flesh, could be fable, could be stories round a hardware store. What's my opinion? I think the world is bigger than we're ready for. Hello. Welcome to Sasquatch Wednesdays. This is Gypsy. I'm Nilogy. And this is all about listeners, legends, and lore. We're going for personal encounters, experiences, maybe that you've had, or we'd like to hear the stories that you know that have been passed down from the generations, maybe that your father has told you, your uncle, or something like that. We're also going to talk about a lot of people to maybe get in touch with if you'd like more information, if you have an encounter, who to contact. Maybe we'll talk about things to do if you do see one and you don't know what to do or you're scared out of your mind. So all this information is going to be talked about on Sasquatch Wednesdays. So if you have any information or want to be on the show, we do have the link pinned to the top of the chat right now, right up there. And we have two people tonight that's already coming up. Scotty Twang, he sent me some photos earlier this week of the area where his encounter was. He'll tell us all about that in a little bit. And Clyde Sanchez, 8174, if he comes in here. he said he had a story he'd like to share today as well. Now, there has been a flap in Ohio. We'll go over all of that. If Scotty Twang's ready to come up, he can click that link. I did see he was in here. We can start out with the stories. If any of you in the chat have stories, let the two that we have already said go. Now, if Clyde doesn't show up, we will have some time. You can talk about yours. If not, I have some things I want to share after the stories are being told. Different YouTube channels, some websites, different information, some maps of Ohio and where the flap was and all that information. So a lot of good information is going to be discussed and talked about today, cryptid wise. So stick around. Scotty's in the house. All right. Very perfect timing. All right. I'm going to bring Scotty up here so we can make sure this layout's good. It with you. All right. Much better.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Do you want me to show the photo? I got some of these up here I can show, I think.
Yeah, sure.
And
those are
first?
Those are from two different places. So they're both in California, but one was more central California, and one was up in like the Alpine Lake area. Yeah.
I think I have 4 or 5 photos out of all those. But here, let me see what I got. Yeah, this is the one with the lake.
Yep. So that was Mosquito Lake is the campsite. It's up in Stanislaus County and Stanislaus National Forest. And it's about 8,200 elevation or so. No, that's that's the other one. That's the one down by Big Sur. That one there.
What's that one?
That's up Mosquito Lake. Yeah.
This is not where the sighting was.
They're both. Yeah, both. Two of them.
There's another one. Look at the woods out there. That's dense forest.
Yeah, that's Mosquito Lake area too. Yeah.
Yeah, look how dense it is.
Yeah. Now that's the Central California one. That one's Monterey County by Big Sur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not else. That's a good hunting blind. When you're inside, you got a 360 view.
Yeah.
Oh, golly. You got all kinds of stuff up. All right. All right. Well, tell us your story, like where it was, about the time frame, and then a little bit about the encounter.
Well, the first one was, let's see, probably back in 2023, or I'm sorry, 2013. And it was Limekiln State Park, which was one of the photos that was on the ocean at the beach. So this campground, it's in Big Sur. It's on a little creek that back in the day, used to be a kiln, like a lime. They would kiln lime, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's giant redwood forest, ferns, the whole 9 yards. My wife and I went there camping, and it was probably May or so. I think it was for my birthday. And we basically had the place to ourselves. And I think there was one other camper there, and they were, I don't know, probably a half a mile away, or maybe even more than that. So we were pretty much alone, and we were just up there camping, having fun, cooking out, and just normal camping stuff. In the middle of the night, I forget if it was the first night or the second night. Our tents kind of next to a creek, and probably 5-10 feet from a creek. And I woke up hearing this so splashing, coming up in the creek. And, I'm laying there and I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's a raccoon or something. I don't know. And all of a sudden, I start hearing this screaming like a stuck pig is the best I could describe it. It sounded like a pig squealing. Yeah. And as far as I know, there aren't any pigs up in that forest. There's no wild boar. There's no, there's no wild hogs or anything like that that I know of.
Right.
It scared the crap out of me. My wife, she woke up. We're both just laying there listening to this thing. And it sounded, like I said, just like a pig just, screeching and hollering. Yeah. It carried on for probably, I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe a little bit more than that. It wasn't very long. And then again, I heard, splashing going back down the creek, down towards the, where the mouth of the creek empties into the ocean there.
Yeah.
I didn't get out of the tent. Neither did she. And, eventually went back to sleep and everything. The next morning we got up and just did the normal morning routine. And I, looked over there and stuff, and I didn't see any cracks or anything, or any sign of anything happening. But, I heard something.
Not near the water or anything, huh?
Yeah. So
now, what kind of splashing did you hear? Was it like a loud smacking of the water, or like a fish jumping out, or?
It sounded like, something was walking up the creek in the water.
Oh, wow.
Now I couldn't tell.
That makes sense.
At the time, I wasn't thinking, oh man, that sounds like four legs, a quadruped going up the water, or bipedal. I didn't try to make that distinction in the middle of the night, right. Looking back, I probably could have taken better notes, but it was just splashing. It was extra from what the babbling brook that I've been listening to all night sounded like,
Yeah.
So the second one, so that was in 2013. The second one was in 2016-ish, maybe 2017. This was up in Mosquito Lake, which is in Stanislaus National Forest, which is, I don't know, kind of south of Lake Tahoe area. Kind of borders Nevada, California border. I mean, not quite near the border, but it's in the mountains up there, forest. Okay. Buddy of mine were up there hunting. It was probably mid to late October. Deer season ends the first part of November, so I think we were up there the last week before deer season ended. We go up there. Again, we have the place to ourselves because it's coming to the end of the season. Not a lot of people are camping it, and it's cold up there. Like I said, it's about 8,200 elevation. So we're pretty high up. So we get to the campground. Again, we set up just like normal. Just a normal trip. This guy and I, we would take these trips by,
Are you camping in a tent, or do you camp in a tent? Okay. So you're in primitive camping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And he has a camper shell, and he made out the bed of his truck with carpet, and like he had the whole thing set up for the bed of his truck. It was pretty neat. But we're setting up camp just like normal. Next morning, we get up early. We hike probably 4 miles or so up top of this ridge, and then down, looking down into like this ravine kind of valley type of thing. And we're, just looking for deer and stuff. We spread out probably a couple 100 yards, maybe 300 yards from each other.
Sure.
and, find a nice tree to lean against and sit down and look down the valley into the I guess pasture or whatever, at the bottom, and just glassing, just looking for any kind of movement, looking for anything. And he's doing the same thing, like I said, a ways away from me. We're sitting there, and it's, we've probably been there a couple hours, and not really seeing anything. And as I'm glassing, I look over to kind of see where he's at, and I see him, and he's leaning against the tree, or sitting with his back against the tree, looking downhill, and it looks like he's asleep or something. His head's kind of down in his chest, and it's like, okay, this guy, he fell asleep, and about that time, as I'm looking at him, something catches out of the corner of my eye that's downhill from him. Kind of in the wood line, kind of not. It's kind of scrub brush and stuff where it's not trees. And I'm like, well, crap, is this I see something moving, and it's not moving fast. And so I'm looking at it, and I can't get a good look at it because of all the foliage and the bushes and, just stuff in the way. But I could see something. And I'm like, well, crap, is that a deer? Because it's probably 100 yards, 150 yards downhill from him, but kind of in his area, it's pretty close to him. And, I'm just looking at this thing, and it's like, well, is that a deer? And it's not moving like a deer, and it's by itself. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's not a deer this early morning, because, all the does, they tend to stick together and go graze and explore together,
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it, and it's kind of I don't know, maybe like a chocolate brown, like a Hershey bar, maybe a little lighter. It's like, well, shoot, is that a bear? So now my heart's going a little bit. It's like, well, crap, my buddy's sitting over there asleep, and he's got a bear sniffing around, coming up the hill towards him.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I stand up, and I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, crap, should I start yelling? Should I fire a shot? Should I just start running over there? What do I do? So I just start yelling. His name was Ken. I'm yelling out, Kenny, Kenny, Kenny. And he doesn't hear me, or he's just dead asleep, whatever. And whatever that animal was, I'm not sure if it could have been a bear. It was kind of round. It was brown. How many yards
were you from it? How many yards do you think you were from it?
I was probably 200 to 300 from him, or a couple hundred yards from him, and it was about 100 yards down the hill from him. So I don't know. So, I mean, it was quite a ways,
Yeah.
And this is, pretty steep. This isn't a little bunny hill we're sitting on. It's the side of a mountain.
Yeah, I got you.
So
I saw the pictures.
Yeah. So I start yelling, and he didn't move. He didn't hear me, I guess, or he might have. I don't know. I wasn't really focused on him at that point. Whatever this animal was, and I want to say animal, obviously heard me, and it turned and it started hauling butt down that hill like you were tumbling a boulder down that hill. I mean, it wasn't stopping for anything. It was moving. It was going through bushes. It was knocking over trees. So, and eventually I lost sight of it.
Right. Knocking over trees.
Well, I mean, saplings, and I mean, we're not talking.
You could just tell it was moving.
You could tell it was moving. That is for sure. And I've seen bear a couple times before. I've seen deer, and I know how deer run. Bear they kind of gallop, I guess. Their head goes down, and then their butt comes up, and then their head goes up, and their butt goes. They gallop along. And this wasn't really galloping. That I could tell. It seemed linear. It just seemed like it was just moving.
Right.
You know.
Wow.
Now again, I didn't see a head. I didn't see a tail. I saw a brown blur, slowly coming up the hill. I started yelling, and about that time, whatever it was, headed the opposite direction quickly.
A blurry creature.
The old blurry creature.
There's a lot of blurry creatures out there.
Yeah. I made it over to where he was, and and he's like, "Man, what are you yelling for, man? You're going to scare off all the deer." Yeah. And I'm like, "Dude, did you not freaking see,
or hear that thing taking off?" Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to save your life. I thought a bear was going to get you. And and that, I kind of chalked it up to, it was probably a bear, I don't know. But over time, the more I listen to other encounters and, the more I think about it too, it's just like, well, I mean, can I 100% say it was a bear? No. Can I 100% say it was a deer? No. Just like the other one, could I 100% say it wasn't a pig? No. But I've been to that campground many times and I've never seen pigs up there or any sign of pig,
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are my two experiences, encounters, I guess.
Now, how did you feel when you saw them? And on your second experience, I didn't get the time. When about was that? The date, year?
It was October, maybe 2016.
2016.
Yeah, it was just before deer season. Deer season ends the first part of November, so it was the last week before season ends.
Okay.
And it was probably, I don't know, 10, 11 in the morning. I mean, it wasn't late. It wasn't late at night. It wasn't, it was kind of mid-morning.
And how did you feel the two times that you were there? Did you feel anything before you saw them, during, or after?
No. I mean,
other than the fact that you didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Well,
you were trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah. And we've been up on that mountain, that same spot, same camping site, same thing for years prior.
Yeah.
And many times. And I've never felt anything when I've been out in the woods. I've never felt scared. I never felt watched. I never felt uncomfortable. When we would go up there, not to hunt, but we would do like a week-long like backpack trip. You hike in.
Yeah, I saw you. You camped a lot.
Yeah, you hike in, 10, 15 miles to these alpine lakes that are only accessible by, hiking. And, stay up there for a week or so and, 5 days and then hike back out. We were doing that for a long time and never had any problems, So.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was interesting for sure.
Sounds like Puddle's pity party. It sounds like Puddle's pity party, JC Toad says. I thought this was Taco Tuesday.
A Wendigo. What is that? A Wendigo.
Who said that?
Native Wildman.
Native Wildman said he saw a Wendigo, but we don't know what a Wendigo is. Do you?
Yeah, they call them not deer.
Not deer.
Yeah, it's got like the skull of a deer and like the elongated body of a humanoid. That's my understanding. And people mistake them for deer, and then the thing stands up on its two legs and chases you around the woods. Yeah.
Really? What? Really?
Yeah. Look it up. Non-deer or not deer. One or the other. Yeah.
Georgianne has a story. This is Scotty Twang. His avatar was up there the whole time he was talking. You can go connect with him if you have any more questions for him. Scotty, do you have anything else you want to add? Like, what do you believe they are? Do you
Um,
believe that there's Bigfoots and or different cryptids out there? Do you have anything else you want to add?
I've I've been kind of researching and studying this from all angles for 5 or 6 years now, like really looking into it. Um, I have theories that are biblically based. I have theories that are more scientific based. Um, I could go either way. I don't think it's like supernatural. I don't think it can teleport. I don't believe in any of that stuff.
You don't?
No, no. I
No.
I think it's a true flesh and blood creature.
That's what a lot of
Um,
people believe.
and it's become an expert in its environment for camouflage and concealment, just like a lion in the Serengeti is. It could be laying in that grass 5 feet away from you, and you'd never know there's a lion right there. And I think that perhaps Sasquatch, Grassman, Bigfoot has adapted to where it can, if it stays still and blends in, you could probably walk right over it like it's a log and not even know it.
Right.
Um,
Oh, I've walked over deer literally and not
yeah,
known it.
yeah.
They jumped
So
up behind me. They were hiding under brush piles. I mean, they're not.
yeah,
That's a deer. This is a. They just. I just watched a video and it wasn't out too long. I'm gonna go over some of this later, but they tested some DNA on because they can test DNA pretty well now, and they said that the mother was um, human and the father is unknown.
yeah.
Mother is human, father is unknown.
Well, and that kind of touches on in this. We could discuss theory and theology all night. That kind of goes back to the biblical stuff where it's pre-flood, the Bible pre-flood, and
Oh,
that's kind
yeah.
of why there was a flood, was because the fallen angels were coming down and mating with the human women and becoming wicked, and God disliked that, so he told Noah to
Nephilim.
build the ark.
Nephilim.
And yep.
I've checked out Nephilim too. Yeah, but
So
how would the Nephilim, the giants, how would they be? How would that relate to Bigfoot? These are hairy
well,
creatures that are relatively tall. I mean, they're claimed to be 7 to 10 feet. I mean, these
so
giants are like 12 and 14 feet. The Nephilim were
yeah.
bigger
Well,
than that.
and according to the text, it's these creatures lived. It's very short mention in the Bible, but it's that these creatures lived before and after the flood, and that's really kind of all it touches on. So
Right.
they survived the flood.
Some did.
Some did. And it's kind of believed too that the Goliath, that David and Goliath was a Nephilim. I've heard that thrown around too.
Sure.
The giants.
Yeah.
So I believe it. I believe everything that's on this earth was created. Therefore, I think that it's absolutely an animal, whether it was supposed to be created or not, and was meant to be taken out by a giant flood, and some survived, is a discussion for another time.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Is there anything
Well,
else you'd like to share?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down. So you
Thanks for having me up.
Oh no, you can come up anytime if you want to talk about your beliefs or anything else when we're discussing anything. You can come up and give your behalf or whatever. That's what tonight's about. It's kind of open discussion. I would like to stick to cryptids and Bigfoots and your own personal beliefs. I'm not going to stand in that way. I'm taking down information and I know where I stand, but I'm not going to really share that. This is open for you guys. Now, Jailbait Tackle and Outdoors says, howdy, I'm a definite believer. I had an audible encounter at a place called Mystic Springs Recreation Area in Escambia County, Florida, which Florida is one of the big hitters. I'll show you some of these photos and stuff because there were some flaps here in Ohio. There's a flap here in Ohio just this month, and it's blown up all over YouTube. You can go find a video on it. Everyone across the world is talking about it. And I've got I got a map I'm going to share with you, and a lot of other information, but it'll help you get in touch with some stuff, give you some research you can go check on. We're not trying to start a group or take a lot of logs and stuff. We want to share with everyone the information that we gather so they can keep all this stuff, and then they keep it public. And some of that information I'm still using tonight. So just give all that information to them, the different Bigfoot groups, which I'll tell you about tonight. And they'll keep everything public, and then everybody can stay on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What
All
we
right.
don't do is about, yeah.
I'm gonna get off the video and let somebody else jump up if they want to get up here.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think
Awesome.
the other one tonight that was supposed to come up is Clyde Sanchez, 8174, but I haven't seen
I
him.
haven't saw him in the chat.
So we'll see if he shows up. If anyone else has a story, let me know, and I'll.
Jailbait and Tackle, do you want to come up and share your encounter?
He says, I think he's driving right now. It's primitive camping in that area off Uskabuga. I don't know.
Georgianne's driving right now.
Oh, okay.
She would ask if she'd come up.
Jailbait and Tackle, would you like to come up
If
and
she
share
could
your
tell
story?
next Wednesday,
We
and
do
I
have
said
an
no,
opening
so-
unless Clyde shows up. Or is it Clyde?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Clyde.
Yes. Yes, sir.
To answer your question, I have not had an encounter personally. That was Kobe. But he is right now, he's hunting Bigfoot, as there is a contest for $1,500 prize for the most compelling video. Wow. Hey, One Take Adventures. Oh, wait. One Take Adventures is in here. Welcome in. Awesome, Mrs. B. Driven. Howdy. The Florida Panhandle. Hoping I can win, but figured I'd let you in on the fun as well. Think this contest is right up your alley. You shared a link.
Oh, Kobe, that's cool.
Kobe, I appreciate the link. Do you want me to share it with everyone, or do you want me to just keep it between us? The Florida Panhandle is a hot zone. BFRO has visited Eglin AFB grounds many times. Yes, the BFRO is definitely one of the groups that I am going to be talking about here in a little bit. You guys need to know who they are. I'm still here listening while I carve. Okay, cool. He's making a really cool walking stick. Backtrack hooligans. Kenny could have been zapped. Oh boy.
Because Scotty's friend was Kenny.
Yeah, he
in
could have
this
been
story.
zapped. Kobe. Kenny. Hi, Jeff and Tammy and everyone in the chat. Hi, Susie. Oh, hi, Susie. Hi, Georgianne. I didn't see Susie.
I did. I said hi, Susie.
Where is it? I don't see it.
She said,
Oh, right there.
Jeff
Travel
and
around
Tammy.
Susie. I definitely hunted Sasquatch's type of primitive. Jailbait and Tackle thinks that they definitely think that 100% that Sasquatch is a type of primate. I have a hard time believing the orb stories and such. Well, that's true.
Jailbait said, I would love to, but I'm sick as a dog. I would love to do another day.
I honestly don't believe that they all look the same. I think there's a variation in all of them. That's why they have different names. And
I think so too.
I've heard that they look like primates. I've heard that they look like hairy, large women. I've heard that they look like the the gremlin video. That thing was kind of ganky and, you know, weird walking. I've heard that they do kind of can, and as far as moving around, like Scotty had just mentioned, it just kind of moved. There wasn't like a movement of the body, it just kind of glided. And honestly, the blurry photos, the different encounters, everything that I've researched, a lot of times they are just kind of either moving fast or walking fluidly. Maybe they do have a fluid ungait to their walk, but definitely some sort of quick movement. And he was not making a comment about the actual stream. There was a glitch in the start, and all I saw was a black screen with a music loop of the musician called Puddle's Pity Party. Funny. Hi, Kobe. We're so glad you made it. Susie. Hi, Hurley. A Wendigo is a human that chose to eat human flesh and got cursed to always hunger for human flesh and always hungry. There are a few depictions of it. They are very evil.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I've never heard of that till now.
Do you want me to share this link, Kobe? Honestly, just us this time around. I'll be a little greedy there. Okay. That's cool. Is it something they can find if they really research it? I sent some people to your channel living the dream. They're treasure hunters. I told them you're a treasure hunter and you have a treasure hunt going on. So I don't know if they come by or not. I would love to, but am sick as a dog. I would love to do another day. That's fine. We're going to do this every Wednesday. As soon as I get through this chat, make sure there's nobody that wants to come up here. I'm going to give you a bunch of information. So if you're watching the replay, you can skip ahead a little bit until you find where I start talking about all this stuff. I'm just trying to make sure there's no stories or people that want to come up in the chat right now. Have been doing a lot of research and hoping I will win the contest. Hardest part for me will be finding and conducting a witness interview, as everything needs to be within a 1 mile circle circle location. They all have a different look, coloring. Some can be nice, others are very mean. I agree. I've heard of both. Some are mean and some are not as mean. Some look like dogmen, so I've heard. Yes, I've heard dogmen, mothmen, the grass man, the skunk ape. Lots of different encounters, so lots of different looking things. I do think that they are a cross breed from human and something foreign, alien to us. Kobe, don't hunt it. Let it come to you. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Wow.
Yeah, don't hunt it. Let it come to you. Whoa. Yeah.
I would just like stay back and observe.
Any tips, Georgian? Maybe it's not very well known contest, which is why I think I have a good chance of winning. Would really make a big life impact me. I hope you win it, living the dream. Matter of fact, if I get a good video, I might send it to you. It's Native American lore. Okay. Native American lore. So is Sasquatch. Sasquatch is also Native American lore. I've heard of a lot of different and studied a lot of different writings and teachings of the Native Americans, or at least people telling Native American stories of the Sasquatch and different, and they lived with them. Some of them were mean and some of them were nice. Exactly. And they did work and live. They lived and hunted right around the Sasquatch. So they've been around for a long time, which means they either live a long time.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Which I'm guessing around 700 years, because there are older there are older accounts accounts of Sasquatch with gray hair, so I do think that they live that they do age, but maybe 700 years is a good amount of time they could live. But I don't know. Maybe it's not very well known contest. I'm guessing on the age. I just think that they do age, but I do think they stick around for a long time. I've heard the ones in Texas are mean, so don't go down there, says Scotty. Wasn't Henry and the Hendersons a documentary? It's a great movie.
Harry and the Hendersons, but that is
It's Harry and the Hendersons. No, that's not a documentary. Jody's Genealogy saying hi to us. Hi, Jody. Good to see you. I like that tile you were looking at. Hurley's Garden reminds me of the ape family. Honestly, I'm sure it's real, but seems only certain areas that are around, or do you think worldwide? It is worldwide. Yeah, they are worldwide, but they do seem to be concentrated, or maybe there's just so few of them. I'm not sure. I don't think they're like sticking around in packs. So there are areas where they've heard them on multiple sides, and I have heard of families. So there may be like small packs around, but I don't think they get too thick. You know, I mean, I don't think. I am not what happened to me. Oh, yeah. I've visited the Skunk Ape Museum in Florida Everglades, says Jailbait and Tackle. Right here. Travel around Susie saying hi to thanks to Jody. Thanks. I've done videos on the paranormal, aliens, but never cryptids. Who's this? Living the dream. Kobe. Everyone loves this stuff, so at the very least, if I don't win, I think I'll have a lot of fun. And they just shared the link again. Every time I talk to you, it shares it to me again. Mm-hmm. No, they don't like the dog man. Maybe as big, but features are different. Many stories is amazing. Wish I could come up, but next week. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I wish you could do, Georgia.
Well, next week.
Now the suspense will be there all week.
Yeah. So next week, Georgianne. And who else said that? Is it?
Jailbait and Tackle. Do you want to come up next week? If you're feeling better.
You want me? I got you down for next week, Jailbait. And if you don't, that's okay. We had somebody not come this week. Clyde so far, and I'll put him down too. I just write down the information, keep track a little bit of my own, and I'm gonna pass this information on, and it gives people a chance to watch this as well. And then I'm also going to go over, after we're done with the personal encounters and stories, as long as there's nobody in here or coming,
Jody,
I'm going to go over a lot of different information.
Poltergeist.
Oh. I've always thought they were more of a poltergeist. Like they could there was an account on one of these videos I was just watching, and the lady, well, it's called Bigfoot took her. Bigfoot took her. And there was multiple people involved. They're saying this guy took multiple girls out to those woods, but he told his friend he was giving them to Bigfoot. Now, one of the ladies that were involved, she said that Bigfoot, she was so scared. She heard something outside of her tent. She was terrified. She got under her covers. She covered it up. The guy that brought her out there told her, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Don't worry about it.
She covered up with her sleeping bag.
And she said when she woke up or whatever, they had said she was walking off the cliff. Bigfoot had entered her. She didn't know what she was doing. She walked off the cliff.
Off of going off the cliff.
And they grabbed her. And when she came to, she didn't know she had done any of this stuff. like he possessed her and had her walk off the cliff. That's her encounter. Albert Ostman has a great encounter.
Gonna have to check that out. And Georgianne said Dixie.
Is he, where would we find this encounter at, Albert Ostman? Is it online or is it something we can look up?
1924. That'd be something.
Back in, oh, okay. I didn't see that. I thought it was recent. 1924. Albert Ostman, 1924. Check that out, guys. These creatures definitely follow and inhabit areas next to water sources like rivers. Yeah, and they do use the same kind of byways. They don't just run through the forest. They will use our paths and our deer paths and waterways to hide their stuff. One of the people that had the encounter in Ohio had about a 14-second encounter face to face with this thing on a path. You guys are going to have to go check this stuff out. We're about to get into the map and stuff. So these creatures definitely follow and inhabit areas next to water sources. Dixie Cryptid has a story about a lady that was taken by Bigfoot. Jody says it's interesting. Unfortunately, I left work early due to sickness, but normally work Wednesday nights. I might be able to switch my dinner break and do it from my van. Well, that'd be cool.
Right, Scotty. Yeah. There's always missing hikers.
What time's your dinner break? It also kind of explains the missing 411 hikers. True. 411 hikers. All right, I want to show this on stream. This is a map. Now, this map is Ohio Bigfoot Sightings 2026 recent flap report, which a flap is a large amount of credible encounters in one area. So when people have a credible encounter, there's different groups and societies that reach out to these people, talk to them, make sure it's basically credible. And if there's a large amount of these in one area, then it's called a flap. A flap encounter is in one area in a short amount of time. So these all happen between March 6th and March 10th, right here in Northeast Ohio. On March 6th, a 6 to 9 foot brown male was seen in Mantua County or Mantua Center. On March 7th, on March 6th, a 9 foot brown male. On March 7th, an 8 foot figure grunts, and there was a footprint in Mantua area. On March 9th, an 8 foot Sasquatch with black fur was seen in Garrettsville. On March 9th, a 10 foot black figure, musky odor. They smelled a musky odor on Headwaters Trail. On March 9th, a 6 foot brown figure was seen running out of Windham, or they claimed to be 6 foot. March 10th, an 8 to 10 foot massive shadow was seen on Trumbull County border. On March 9th, but you'll have to go listen to these stories to get the full detail, a 6.5 foot brown figure face to face was seen on Route 303. And on March 10th, at 10:30 a.m., a 7 foot reddish brown creature, which 10:30 you're going to see a little more color than at night, and so you could see reddish brown creature was seen quickly around Lake Milton area. Now you can see here, this was the foot with one was done on March 6th. It's moving kind of up and around Headwaters Trail. Okay. And on one of these encounters was a 19-second face-to-face encounter with Bigfoot. Now, the meteor that exploded over Ohio is in this same area right on March 17th, a little bit after the time the Bigfoot encounters were seen. A meteor exploded right over Ohio in the same area, the Portage and Trumbull County. It's a hot spot for March, guys. Okay. Now, these data sources and sightings are collected from the Bigfoot Society, the Bigfoot Society podcast, and community reports. Locations are approximate, and I want to give a special thanks to Greenway Highway Theory. Now, I got a little thing here on Greenway Highway. I'm going to zoom back out. You guys can watch this, look at this for a little bit more. I want to talk about Greenway Highway. It's on Instagram. Under the... What in the world? Under the Wildfoot.
Bigfoots have been known to allegedly zap people, so I've heard many times. Have you heard that?
Zap people?
Yeah, that's what Jailbait and Tackle said. My dinner break is usually at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. I might be able to rearrange my schedule.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool if you could. I can send you the link of a video I did about my experience. That's Jailbait and Tackle. Georgianne said, Cameraman goes out through Ohio near Akron and tracks Bigfoot and Dogman. He is on YouTube. That is where I am moving, near Beaver Creek, a big area for Bigfoot. Oh, wow.
Oh,
that's
boy.
fun, Georgianne. Ohio Grassman, the myth, the legend. Welcome in. Good to see you.
6:30 Central Time is 9:30 our time, but you could definitely come up at 9:30. It's 9:53 right now. Yeah. Send me a video about the experience. I don't know how you'll send it, but you can make it a
send you the link of a video.
Okay, yeah. Send me a link of a video. Oh, you did a whole video? Yeah, do that. Uh-oh, the grass man's here.
Oh, gosh. No. Nobody's here. Nobody's here. Not really.
Welcome in, Ohio Grass Man.
No.
All right, so I have some channels and videos I want to share out. Ohio Grass Man, if you have a story or an encounter you'd like to share, this is a podcast for personal experiences and encounters with cryptids. We do take a little bit of a tally. Tonight, Scotty Twang told us about 2 encounters he's had, 2013 and 2016. We were supposed to have another Clyde
Sanchez,
8174 was supposed to come up, and we have a couple people scheduled for next week. I will go over some videos, especially recent videos. We also talked about the recent flap in Ohio. Now, this last Saturday at Hatfield Films, Hatfield, capital HATFIELD, capital FILMS, Hatfield Films, Strange Things in Ohio. I recommend watching this video. At Squatch D, as in Domino, DTV, Squatch DTV, a pointy finger, The PG film crisis, new updates and your opinions, exclamation point. I recommend watching this video. At wild underscore assault. That's wild, WILD underscore capital ASSAULT. AI finally reveals the 1967 Patterson Gremlin Bigfoot film. You won't believe what it found. Two other channels I think you should check out is at Blurry Creatures. That's all under lowercase. BLURRYCREATURES. And at Bigfoot Society, capital BIGFOOT, capital SOCIETY. Also, you need to know about the Patterson Gremlin film if you don't already. Definitely go check that out.
David Paulides is the author of the Missing 411. It's about all the people who go missing in national forests. Hurley says, you ever think that they're just bears with mange? Show the hotspot map, please, for the Florida Panhandle area.
Hotspot map for the Florida Panhandle. I don't have one. I am going to talk about different flaps that have happened over the past 10 years. Now, if you have an encounter, obviously come up here on Wednesday and tell us about it. But also call or contact the BFRO, all capitalized. You can Google it. It's the Bigfoot Field Research Organization. If you have an encounter in Ohio, contact the Ohio Bigfoot Organization. The Ohio Bigfoot Organization. Or if you're in Southern Ohio, you can contact the Southeastern Ohio Bigfoot Investigation Society. Southeastern Ohio Bigfoot Investigation Society. Bigfoot Society's podcast is at Bigfoot Society. You can email them at bigfootsociety@gmail.com. They keep accounts of all the different encounters. He is getting out and talking to people. He's putting boots on the ground. He's making sure the Bigfoot Society is keeping track and a log that he also allows to be public. So contact Bigfoot Society podcast. Blurry Creatures just did a podcast with Bigfoot Society. All right, now I want to go over the flaps over the last 10 years, and then we'll probably call it a night if there's no one out there that wants to come up. The link is pinned to the top of the chat if you want to come up and give your story. A flap refers to sudden, intense burst of sightings or an activity in specific geographic area over a short period. Now, while individual sightings happen daily, true flaps are rarer and often suggest a group of individuals moving through a region. Based on current data, including reports from the 2024 through 2026, here are the most notable Bigfoot flaps and clusters from the last decade. The Northeast Ohio surge, which just happened in March. Area is Portage County, Mantoa Center, Garrettsville, Newton Township. The details are, this is a current high-intensity flap. Investigators have documented 6 high-credibility reports in just 4 days. Witnesses describe dark, large figures moving through the wooded trails, with researchers noting that the varying heights and colors reported suggest a family or group or multiple individual cryptids or Bigfoot. Number 2, the Central Pennsylvania I-80 wave. in late 2025, early 2026. The area was Center County and along the I-80 corridor. Details: a series of Class A visual sightings occurred involving road crossings. Notable reports include a sighting near Penn State University and another in October 2025, where a witness described a creature crossing the interstate. This area has historically been a hotspot, but the recent density of reports suggests a renewed flap status. Number 3. The South Carolina Midlands Cluster, late 2024. I will have a hotspot Florida map and U.S. map next Wednesday. Stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. The South Carolina Midlands Cluster, late 2024. Area, Newberry County, near the town of Peake in Union County. Details: following a high-profile sighting by a law enforcement officer in November 2024, a cluster of secondary reports emerged from the surrounding private lands along the Broad River. This was the first significant concentrated activity in the region since early 2023. The Elk River and Tennessee Cluster in 2024. The area, Lincoln County, Del Rose, Elk River area. Details: officially cataloged as the Elk River Del Rose Cluster, this flap involved multiple accounts of non-visual Class B activity, vocalizations, wood knocks, and a chilling report of large greenish eyes seen outside the residence at 3 a.m. Number 5, the Southern Utah High Desert Flap in 2023 and 2025. Area, Cedar City, Pine Valley Reservoir, and the rugged hills of southern Utah. Details: a multi-year slow flap where hikers and campers reported an escalating series of encounters. The activity peaked with reports of towering wood structures, snapped trees, and low growls in remote creek campsites. Number 6, the Florida Big Cypress Wave, 2024-2025. Area, Big Cypress National Preserve and Goethe, Goethe, Goethe State Forest in Levy County. The details: Florida consistently ranks in the top 4 sightings. Ranks in the top 4 for sightings, but recently activity has clustered around the boardwalk trails. Reports include wood knocks and sightings of what locals often call the skunk ape, specifically concentrated in the swampy interior. The Pacific Northwest Lolo Pass Cluster, 2025-2022. Area, Mount Hood National Forest in Lolo Pass and the Columbia River Gorge in Oregon and Washington. The details: during and immediately following the pandemic, a surge of reports came from the Lolo Pass area. Outdoorsmen reported face-to-face encounters and ongoing activity across the Skamania County line, a region famous for the 1960s Bigfoot laws. So if you're looking for where the next flap's likely to occur, these states have the highest volume of recent reports. Washington has had 731 numbers of listing from the BFRO in Olympic Peninsula and Mount Rainier. California's had 470 listings in Shasta and St. Bernardino counties. Florida's had 347 listings. Big Cypress and the Everglades. Ohio's had 331 sightings. Portage and Cuyahoga County. Oregon said 262 sightings. Mount Hood, Columbia River Gorge area. If anyone else has any information, or if you have your story and would like to come up this week or next week, apparently not this week, but next week, we will be live again next week at 9 o'clock. The link will be pinned to the top. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to buy anything. You just jump up. You don't even have to be on camera. You saw how Scotty turned his camera off. You can turn it off.
Scotty had another theory, he said.
You can turn it off, and you don't have to be on here. You can just talk. You can talk in the chat. That is allowed. We allow talking in the chat. You don't have to come up here. We do want personal encounters or encounters that have to do with you or someone in your family or close friend. Okay.
Joe said he'll try to email you. Is that available on your about page?
Yeah, it is. Let me see if it's in here. Nope. But I can add a new one.
John O'Connor has a great book about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Really
All right, there's our email. You can email me there with any stories or anything you want to do.
So highly dense areas are their favorite habitats for sure. Also, I believe because I can't read it. I've seen all those areas.
John O'Connor has a great book about Bigfoot, says Georgianne, John O'Connor. So highly dense areas are their favorite habitats for sure. Also, I believe because I've seen all those areas. Well, I do think they like. I think that I had an encounter in Gull Woods. Gull Woods is a preserve. There are areas that no one's allowed to go to. I think they're smart. I'm not sure we're ready to know everything about them. I think there's a variation of what they are and who they are. I think the fact that there was dogmen, mothmen, frogmen, and a lot of other things. Some of them glow in the dark. Some of them have glowing eyes. Some of them are mean. I do think that some of them are probably, genetic modifications or children of these alien beings of whatever they are. And I think that there's others that are either part of them or breeding with them or accompany them, because there's been a lot of different encounters and there's a lot of different forms, but yet a lot of consistencies. So they're definitely intertwined in some way. Another theory is that the Sotheastern view, it kind of gets into Genesis 6. Sotheastern view. Genesis 6. I will try and email you. There's a lot of people talking about. Joe Rogan's talking about the sightings in Ohio right now. I will try and email you if that is available on your about page. Joe Rogan tried to debunk.
They're very smart indeed.
Joe Rogan tried to debunk.
Joe Bates said, I heard the only county in the country
the Patterson Gimlin film
illegal to kill a Sasquatch. I forget the name of the county in Washington.
I heard the only county in the country has made it illegal to kill a Sasquatch. I forget the name of the county in Washington. Washington, you're not allowed to kill a Sasquatch?
Boogers. I wonder why he called them boogers.
Those little boogers.
The boogers.
All right, guys. So this was episode number 1. We had a good time. Hopefully you got some information out of that. We will be Bigfoot hunting. I have had encounters. You may hear those at some point. This is open to the public. Anyone has an encounter or would like to share a story that they've had, whether you think it's a Bigfoot or some other cryptid, please come up one Wednesday, and the link will always be pinned right up there, and you can jump up here and give us your story. If not, I'll bring some more information with me every week, and we'll talk about whatever cryptid things are relevant for the time. We'll see you guys next week. Stay spooky. Stay spooky.
Peace out.
I don't know. See you guys later.